Right now, millions of families across America are unknowingly poisoning themselves every single week by grabbing frozen pizzas from their grocery store freezer without understanding what's really hiding inside those colorful boxes. These convenient dinners that promise quick meals and happy families are actually loaded with toxic ingredients, dangerous chemicals, mystery meats, scraped from bones, fake cheese made from vegetable oil, and sodium levels so extreme they could trigger heart attacks in vulnerable people. Major corporations spend billions on advertising to make you trust their brands while they fill these pizzas with the cheapest, most harmful ingredients legally allowed because your health means absolutely nothing compared to their profit margins. Parents feed these toxic products to their children night after night, never reading the ingredient labels that would horrify them if they understood what those chemical names really mean for their family's long-term health. But here's the truth: nobody wants you to know not all frozen pizzas are created equal, and the difference between the worst and the best options could literally add years to your life or steal them away. Today we're going to discover exactly which 7 frozen pizza brands are destroying your health and which 5 actually deserve a place in your freezer and buy. And you'll never look at that frozen pizza aisle the same way again. The frozen pizza industry has exploded into a massive multi-billion-dollar business built entirely on a foundation of cheap ingredients, dangerous chemical additives, and deliberately misleading marketing designed to trick families into believing they rebuying real food when they actually purchasing laboratory experiments wrapped in cardboard. These major corporations spend tens of millions of dollars every single year on television commercials, social media campaigns, and celebrity endorsements that create warm emotional connections, showing happy families gathered around steaming pizzas fresh from the oven, laughing and bonding over convenient dinners that look absolutely nothing like the actual products sitting in your freezer. The truth that these companies desperately want you to discover is that they maximize their profits by using the absolute lowest quality ingredients legally permitted under federal food safety regulations. Which honestly aren't nearly as strict as most Americans assume when they trust these brands with their family's health. Instead of real mozzarella cheese made from milk, these manufacturers use something called cheese product, or imitation cheese made primarily from vegetable oil milk, protein concentrate, and artificial flavors that melt like real cheese but provide none of the nutritional benefits and plenty of inflammatory oils your body struggles to process. The meat toppings are even worse: mechanically separated chicken and pork byproducts that include tissue scraped off bones, using high-pressure machines along with parts of animals you would never knowingly eat if you saw the actual production process happening in front of your eyes. The sauce gets loaded with high-fructose corn syrup to create addictive sweetness that masks the taste of low-quality tomato paste. While artificial flavors and colors make everything look and taste more appealing than the cheap ingredients deserve, ingredient labels deliberately use confusing scientific terminology and vague phrases, like natural flavoring that can legally include dozens of different chemical compounds, where they hide behind terms like cheese product instead of being honest and calling it fake cheese. The preservatives packed into these pizzas include chemicals like BHA, BHT, and TBHQ that extend shelf life for months or even years, but studies have linked to potential cancer risks, liver damage, and other serious health problems when consumed regularly over time. Every single bite of the worst frozen pizzas contributes to the obesity epidemic killing millions of Americans, the heart disease that remains our #1 cause of death, the diabetes crisis, bankrupting families with medical bills and countless other chronic conditions that could be prevented through better food choices starting right now in your own freezer. Worst #1, Totino's Party Pizza. Totino's Party Pizza stands as the absolute first frozen pizza you must remove from your shopping cart and never bring into your home again, because it represents a catastrophic sodium disaster wrapped in cheap packaging designed to appeal to teenagers and broke college students who yet understand the permanent damage they were doing to their bodies. A single Totino's pizza, which is so small it barely qualifies as a real meal, contains over 1,000 milligrams of sodium, and that represents nearly half of your entire daily recommended limit crammed into one tiny pizza. That one even fill you up or satisfy your hunger for more than an hour. Excessive sodium intake doesn't just make you thirsty and bloated in the short term, it systematically destroys your cardiovascular system over time by causing high blood pressure that forces your heart to work harder with every single beat, leading to strokes that kill brain cells and leave people paralyzed, heart attacks that strike without warning, kidney damage that eventually requires dialysis to survive, and dangerous water retention that stresses every organ in your body. Totino S uses the cheapest possible ingredients available in the entire food manufacturing industry motion. Cheese made primarily from palm oil and vegetable fats, instead of real dairy. Mystery meat products containing mechanically separated chicken parts including skin, cartilage, and tissue you'd never eat if presented on a plate. And a crust made from refined white flour that's been stripped of every vitamin, mineral, and bit of fiber that might actually provide some nutritional value. These pizzas get marketed specifically to young people through bright, colorful packaging.
Our rock bottom price is around $2.
And advertising that celebrates party culture without mentioning that eating these regularly practically guarantees health problems before age 40. Each serving delivers only 3 grams of protein, despite claiming to be a complete meal, packs 9 grams of artery-clogging, saturated fat, and provides 390 empty calories that spike your blood sugar sky high and then crash you down, leaving you hungry, tired, and craving more junk food within 60 minutes. Feeding Totino's party pizza to your children trains their developing taste buds to crave artificial flavors and excessive salt levels, programming them for a lifetime of poor eating habits, food addiction, and the chronic diseases that will steal decades from their lives while draining their bank accounts on medical bills. Totino's Party Pizza represents everything fundamentally wrong with the frozen pizza industry. In one cheap, convenient package, costs almost nothing for a reason. And that reason is your health and your family's future don't matter at all, to the corporation profiting from your ignorance. Worst number 2, DiGiorno Rising Crust. DiGiorno Rising Crust pizzas masquerade as premium quality convenient dinners with their famous slogan claiming it. It's not delivery, but the reality hiding behind that clever marketing is a chemical laboratory disguised. It's food with ingredient lists so long and unpronounceable that you need a chemistry degree to understand what you're actually putting into your body. Despite all the television commercials showing families gathering around golden crusts fresh from the oven, as if an Italian grandmother just pulled them from a wood-fired pizza oven, these pizzas contain absolutely shocking amounts of artificial ingredients. Preservatives, dough conditioners, and synthetic chemicals that no real grandmother would ever allow anywhere near her kitchen or her family's dinner table. The ingredient list reads like a science experiment gone wrong. Sodium aluminum phosphate gets added to the crust as a leavening agent despite concerns about aluminum accumulation in brain tissue. Sodium nitrite preserves the pepperoni but converts into potentially carcinogenic nitrosamines inside your digestive system. Calcium propionate prevents mold growth, but some studies link it to behavioral problems and irritability, especially in children. And artificial colors including yellow 5 and red 40 make the pizza look more appealing, while research connects these dyes to hyperactivity and attention problems in sensitive kids. The famous rising crust technology that DiGiorno markets as their signature feature dosen happened through traditional yeast fermentation, like real bread instead. It relies on chemical leavening, agents, emulsifiers, and dough conditioners that make the crust puff up artificially using reactions that have nothing to do with authentic baking techniques passed down through generations. A single serving of DiGiorno delivers 720 milligrams of sodium and 8 grams of saturated fat. But here's the problem. Nobody talks about most people eat half a pizza or more in one sitting because the serving sizes listed on packages are unrealistically small, which means you're actually consuming nearly 1,500 milligrams of sodium and 16 grams of saturated fat in one meal. DiGiorno spends millions on advertising, showing happy families, and using phrases like rising crust perfection to create the impression of quality and authenticity, deliberately misleading consumers about the reality that they re-eating heavily processed food products filled with chemicals rather than the fresh-baked pizza experience the commercials promise. Hidden within these pizzas, you'll find trans fats, lurking through partially hydrogenated oils that increase your bad cholesterol while simultaneously decreasing your good cholesterol, creating the absolute worst possible scenario for cardiovascular health and dramatically elevating your risk of heart disease that kills more Americans than any other condition. Children's developing bodies are especially vulnerable to the artificial colors, synthetic preservatives, and chemical additives packed into DiGiorno pizzas. With emerging research suggesting these ingredients may interfere with normal brain development, hormone regulation, and immune system function in ways we're only beginning to understand. Don't let the fancy branding and expensive advertising campaigns fool you into thinking. DiGiorno represents quality. Read that ingredient label carefully, and you'll discover it's just another chemical-laden processed food that prioritizes shelf stability and profit margins over your family's health and well-being. Worst number 3. Tombstone. Original pizzas contain mystery. Meat products so disturbing that if you actually witnessed the manufacturing process and saw what goes into those pepperoni and sausage toppings, you would never bring another one of these pizzas anywhere near your home or your family's mouths ever again. The ingredient label reveals a horrifying truth that most consumers never bother to read. Tombstone uses mechanically separated chicken and mechanically separated pork, which are industry terms for meat products created by forcing bones and carcasses through high pressure machines that scrape off every last bit of tissue, including not just muscle meat, but also bone fragments, connective tissue, cartilage, blood vessels, nerve tissue, and other animal parts that would make your stomach turn if presented to you on a dinner plate. These collected meat byproducts then get processed with sodium phosphates to retain moisture and improve texture. Artificially sodium nitrite to create that pink color and prevent bacterial growth while forming potentially cancer-causing nitrosamines in your digestive system. An artificial smoke flavoring made in laboratories to create the illusion that this mystery paste was actually smoked over real wood, like authentic sausage and pepperoni. The cheese situation is equally disturbing because Tombstone doesn't use real mozzarellans. Instead, they rely on imitation cheese products, made primarily from vegetable oil milk protein concentrate that's been separated from actual milk, modified food starch to create the right texture, and artificial flavors designed to trick your taste buds into thinking you're eating real dairy. Each serving of Tombstone delivers 380 calories of mostly empty nutrition, 16 grams of fat, including 7 grams of artery-clogging saturated fat, 760 milligrams of sodium with virtually zero fiber, and barely enough protein to justify calling it a meal. These pizzas are specifically engineered in food science laboratories to trigger pleasure responses in your brain through the perfect combination of salt, fat, and artificial flavors without providing any of the real nourishment your body desperately needs to maintain health, energy, and proper function. The preservatives BHA and BHT appear in Tombstone's ingredient list, and the National Institutes of Health has classified these chemicals as reasonably anticipated to be human carcinogens based on animal studies showing tumor development, yet they remain legal in American food products because regulations prioritize industry profits over consumer safety. Tombstone markets itself with tough guy branding featuring rugged, Old West imagery, deliberately targeting men who typically read nutrition labels or think carefully about health consequences, essentially preying on demographics less likely to question what they're eating. Would you knowingly feed your children meat scraped off chicken bones with high-pressure machines, mixed with chemicals to make it look and taste like real pepperoni, then covered with fake cheese made from vegetable oil? If you actually saw the process happening, if you watched the machinery and witnessed the ingredients being combined, would you still put that in your shopping cart and serve it for dinner? Worst number 4, Red Baron Classic Crust. Red Baron Classic Crust pizzas hide a dangerous secret that most consumers never discover until they actually read the nutrition label. These pizzas are absolutely loaded with hidden sugars that spike your blood glucose levels, contribute directly to diabetes and weight gain, and train your taste buds to crave artificial sweetness that makes real healthy foods taste bland and unappealing by comparison. The sauce contains high fructose corn syrup listed as the second or third ingredient on the label, which means every single bite of Red Baron delivers concentrated sweetness that has absolutely no place in authentic Italian pizza and serves no purpose except to create addictive flavor profiles that keep you coming back for more. This added sugar doesn't just make the pizza taste sweeter, it fundamentally alters how your body processes the meal by causing rapid blood sugar spikes that flood your system with insulin, followed by crashes that leave you exhausted, irritable, hungry again within an hour, and desperately craving more junk food to bring your energy back up in a vicious cycle that leads straight to metabolic disease? A single serving of Red Baron contains 8 grams of sugar, which is actually more than you'd find in many desserts. And candy bars plus 730 milligrams of sodium, creating a devastating combination of excessive salt and sugar that attacks your health. From multiple directions simultaneously, high fructose corn syrup affects your body completely differently than natural sugars found in fruits and vegetables. It bypasses normal metabolic processes and goes straight to your liver, where it gets converted directly into fat. It's contributing to the fatty liver disease epidemic that's affecting millions of Americans, including children as young as 10 years old. Red Baron uses these extreme sugar levels specifically to mask the taste of cheap, low-quality ingredients, including imitation mozzarella made from vegetable oils, the lowest grade flour available, that's been stripped of all nutrients, and meat products filled with extenders, fillers that would taste terrible without all that added sweetness, covering up the inferior flavors. The long-term consequences of regularly consuming high-sugar processed foods like Red Baron are absolutely devastating. Insulin resistance develops gradually as your cells stop responding properly to insulin signals. Type 2 diabetes emerges when your pancreas can no longer produce enough insulin to manage blood sugar. Obesity becomes almost inevitable as excess sugar converts to body fat. Heart disease risk multiplies because high sugar intake damages blood vessels and increases inflammation. And research even links excessive sugar consumption to increased cancer risk, because cancer cells preferentially feed on glucose. Children are especially vulnerable to sugar addiction because their brains are still developing and the reward pathways that light up when eating sweet foods create powerful connections that follow them into adulthood, making it incredibly difficult to establish healthy eating habits later in life. Check the nutrition label on any frozen pizza you're reconsidering, and reject any product that lists high fructose corn syrup, sugar, or any sweetener among the first 5 ingredients, because that pizza is a sugar trap. It's designed to addict you rather than nourish you. Worst number 5, Celeste Pizza for One. Celeste Pizza for One represents perhaps the most nutritionally bankrupt option in the entire frozen pizza aisle, offering virtually nothing your body needs to function properly while delivering concentrated amounts of everything that harms you, damages your health, and leaves you feeling unsatisfied and hungry within an hour of eating. These tiny pizzas contain only 4 grams of protein despite being marketed and sold as a complete meal, which means they fail catastrophically to provide adequate nutrition to sustain your energy levels, maintain your muscle mass, support your immune system, or perform any of the thousands of biological functions that depend on protein intake throughout the day. Each Celeste pizza delivers 420 calories composed almost entirely of empty, refined carbohydrates and unhealthy fats with 0 dietary fiber, barely any vitamins or minerals worth mentioning, and a massive sodium load of 890 milligrams that attacks your cardiovascular system with every bite. The portion size creates a cruel illusion that tricks consumers into thinking they omit re-eating a reasonable single-serving meal, when the reality is these pizzas are specifically designed to leave you unsatisfied, still hungry, and reaching for additional food within an hour because your body recognizes it didn't receive actual nourishment despite the calories consumed. The ingredient quality problems with Celeste are absolutely staggering. The cheese gets made primarily from palm oil and milk protein isolate rather than real dairy, providing none of the calcium or nutritional benefits of authentic mozzarella while delivering inflammatory vegetable oils your body struggles to process correctly. The pepperoni consists mainly of mechanically separated chicken rather than real pork or beef, meaning you're eating tissue scraped from chicken bones with machines rather than actual meat cuts. And the crust is made from the cheapest refined white flour available that has been stripped of every vitamin, mineral, and gram of fiber that might provide some nutritional value. Celeste deliberately markets these products to busy, single people, broke college students, and low-income families with limited grocery budgets, essentially taking advantage of vulnerable populations who deserve access to real nutrition just as much as wealthy families shopping at upscale stores. The preservative load includes BHA to prevent the fats from going rancid during months or years of storage, artificial flavors designed in laboratories to make cheap ingredients taste more appealing than they naturally would, and sodium phosphates added to improve texture artificially. since the low-quality ingredients don't provide good texture on their own. Regularly eating nutritionally empty foods like Celeste pizza. 4. 1 leads to chronic fatigue because your body isn't getting the fuel it needs. Brain fog and difficulty concentrating because your brain requires proper nutrition to function. Weakened immune system that makes you more susceptible to every cold and infection that comes around. And dramatically increased risk of developing serious diseases over time, including heart disease, diabetes, obesity, and even certain cancers linked to poor diet quality. If you're going to eat frozen pizza, convenience and quick meals matter in your busy life, then at minimum that pizza should provide some actual nutritional value in real food ingredients, rather than being nothing more than a sodium bomb and calorie delivery system that damages your health with every single bite while leaving you hungry and unsatisfied. Verse number 6. Jack's Original Thin Crust. Jack's Original Thin Crust pizzas contain one of the most dangerous ingredients still lurking in some frozen food strands. Fats hidden in the ingredient list through partially hydrogenated oils that every major health organization in the world, including the World Health Organization, American Heart Association, and FDA, have declared fundamentally unsafe for human consumption at any level. Trans fats are so catastrophically harmful to cardiovascular health that the FDA actually banned them from food production and gave manufacturers deadlines to remove them completely, yet some products made before the full ban took effect still sit on store shelves containing these deadly fats that could be destroying your arteries with every bite. These artificial fats created through industrial processing raise your LDL bad cholesterol while simultaneously lowering your HDL good cholesterol, creating the absolute worst possible scenario for heart health and dramatically increasing your risk of heart attacks, strokes, and sudden cardiac death that strikes without warning. Jackass uses partially hydrogenated oils specifically to achieve a crispy thin crust texture cheaply and extend shelf life indefinitely rather than investing in healthier fat sources like olive oil, real butter, or even regular vegetable oils that don't undergo the hydrogenation process. That makes fats trans. The scientific research on trans fats is absolutely clear, and undeniably, small amounts consumed regularly contribute directly to coronary heart disease, which remains the leading cause of death in America, killing over 600,000 people every single year, more than cancer, more than accidents, more than any other condition that ends human lives prematurely. Beyond the trans fat danger, Jack also loads these pizzas with 820 milligrams of sodium per serving that attacks your blood pressure and cardiovascular system. Artificial flavors throughout the sauce and toppings designed to make cheap ingredients taste better than they naturally would, and cheese products made primarily from vegetable oils rather than real dairy that would actually provide calcium and protein. The combination of trans fats, excessive sodium, artificial ingredients, and nutritionally empty refined flour creates a perfect storm of health destruction that affects your arteries by causing plaque buildup, your blood pressure by forcing your heart to work harder, your liver function by overwhelming it with substances it struggles to process, and your overall well-being by depriving you of real nutrition while filling you with harmful chemicals. Cardiovascular damage from trans fats and excessive sodium happens silently over months and years of poor food choices, meaning you won. Feel the effects or notice the problems until serious conditions like blocked arteries, requiring surgery, heart attacks that leave permanent damage, or strokes that steal your independence, force you to finally pay attention to what you've been eating. Read ingredient labels carefully and look specifically for the words partially hydrogenated oils or hydrogenated oils anywhere in the list, and immediately reject any frozen pizza or any food product containing these dangerous trans fats, regardless of how convenient the product seems, how cheap the price appears, or how appealing the packaging looks, because no amount of convenience or savings is worth the cardiovascular damage these fats cause to your body. Worst number 7. Store brand generic pizzas. Store brand generic frozen pizzas that hide behind private labels from grocery chains represent perhaps the riskiest gamble in the entire frozen food aisle, because these known name products come from unknown manufacturers with questionable quality control standards, mysterious ingredient sourcing, and zero accountability to protect brand reputations that don't actually exist. These generic pizzas often get produced in the exact same factories that make name brand products, but they use even cheaper Ingredients, lower quality standards, and more aggressive cost cutting. Measures to hit the rock bottom prices that attract desperate budget shoppers looking to save a dollar without understanding the health consequences they re-accepting. Store brands deliberately lack transparency about where ingredients come from, which manufacturing facilities produce them, what quality control processes exist, if any, and who actually takes responsibility when something goes wrong. It's making it completely impossible to know what you're really feeding your family when you grab these mystery boxes from the freezer. Generic frozen pizzas frequently contain the absolute worst of everything already discussed in this video, mechanically separated. Mystery meat scraped from bones, imitation cheese made from vegetable oils and artificial flavors, high fructose corn syrup loading the sauce with addictive sugar, excessive sodium levels pushing 1,000 milligrams per serving, artificial preservatives like BHA and BHT, extending shelf life while potentially causing health problems, and sometimes even trans fats from partially hydrogenated oils that major brands have mostly eliminated. Retailers prioritize profit margins on private label products above everything else, pushing contract manufacturers to cut costs wherever possible, even if that means sacrificing food quality, nutritional value, and ingredient safety that customers assume exists but actually doesn't. While some store brand products offer decent quality in categories like canned vegetables or paper towels, frozen pizzas represent a category where cheap prices almost always signal serious ingredient problems, manufacturing shortcuts, and health risks worth avoiding entirely. Generic pizzas receive minimal quality control oversight compared to established brands like DiGiorno or Red Baron that at least try to protect reputations built over decades. Meaning you taking chances with every purchase and gambling your family's health on products from unknown sources. Some store brands don't even list the actual manufacturer on the package, hiding behind the grocery chain's name while the real producer remains completely anonymous and unaccountable for whatever they re-putting in those boxes. Families trying to save money during tough economic times deserve real food and proper nutrition just as much as wealthy families, but generic, frozen pizzas exploit budget-conscious shoppers by offering low prices on toxic products that cause expensive health problems down the road, ultimately costing far more in medical bills than you ever saved at checkout. Best number 1, California Pizza Kitchen. California Pizza Kitchen frozen pizzas represent the first truly excellent choice in the frozen pizza aisle, offering real ingredients, thoughtful nutrition, and restaurant-quality flavors that let you enjoy convenient meals without guilt or health consequences, because this company actually cares about protecting the brand reputation they built over decades. CPK uses actual mozzarella cheese made from real milk, rather than the imitation cheese products made from vegetable oil that cheaper brands try to pass off as dairy. And you can taste the difference immediately in the authentic flavor and proper melting characteristics that only real cheese provides. Their signature barbecue. Chicken pizza contains real grilled white meat chicken, not mechanically separated mystery meat scraped from bones, combined with authentic barbecue sauce that lists real ingredients rather than high fructose corn syrup and artificial flavors, red onions for flavor and nutrients, and cilantro on a crispy thin crust that doesn't require chemical leavening agents to achieve proper texture. The nutritional facts on California Pizza Kitchen products are genuinely impressive compared to the garbage pizzas we discussed. Sodium levels stay reasonable around 580 to 650 milligrams per serving, instead of pushing close to 1,000. Protein content averages 15 to 18 grams per serving, providing actual sustenance. And the ingredient lists contain recognizable foods you can actually pronounce. Rather than chemistry experiments that require advanced degrees to understand, CPK invests significantly in ingredient quality specifically because they protecting a restaurant brand that families trust and have visited for special occasions over the past 30 years. Which means they absolutely cannot afford to sell garbage frozen products that would destroy that reputation and drive customers away from their profitable restaurant locations. The flavor variety goes far beyond basic pepperoni and actually includes creative combinations you find on their restaurant menus. White pizza with roasted garlic, spinach, and ricotta cheese, providing vegetables and authentic Italian flavors. Margarita with fresh basil, tomatoes, and real mozzarella, celebrating simple quality ingredients. Sicilian with roasted red peppers, eggplant, and Italian cheeses. and innovative options like Thai chicken that bring international influences to your home kitchen. California Pizza Kitchen pizzas definitely cost more than budget options you. LL typically pays $6 to $8 compared to $2 to $4 for Totino S or generic store brands, but this price difference directly reflects the choice between real food made from quality ingredients versus chemical-laden imitations that harm your health while saving you a couple dollars. Families can actually enjoy restaurant-quality pizza at home without the guilt of feeding loved ones toxic ingredients. Artificial preservatives, mystery meats, or excessive sodium that attacks cardiovascular health with every bite. CPK offers both regular-sized pizzas and smaller personal portions for calorie-conscious consumers. Trying to manage weight gluten-free crust options for people with celiac disease or gluten sensitivity, and clearly labeled nutrition information on every package helping you make informed choices rather than hiding problems in tiny print. California Pizza Kitchen proves that frozen pizza can be convenient, affordable enough for regular families, and genuinely healthy all at the same time when companies prioritize customer well-being over maximum profit margins and shareholder returns at any cost. Best number 2, Newman's Own Thin and Crispy. Newman's Own frozen pizzas stand out as excellent choices built on a company philosophy that prioritizes simple, clean ingredients, transparency, and ethical business practices, because this brand was founded by actor Paul Newman with the revolutionary idea that 100% of all profits should go directly to charity, rather than enriching shareholders and executives. This company literally exists to help people through charitable donations, rather than maximizing returns for investors, which fundamentally changes the entire approach to product development and means Newman's Own has zero incentive to cut corners on ingredient quality or use harmful additives just to squeeze out extra pennies of profit per pizza sold. The ingredient lists on Newman's Own products remain remarkably short and completely readable, even for people without nutrition degrees. Organic wheat flour, providing the foundation. Real mozzarella cheese made from actual milk. Uncured pepperoni that doesn't contain sodium nitrite or other potentially harmful preservatives.
Tomato sauce.
Made from real tomatoes without high fructose corn syrup or artificial flavors. And olive oil instead of cheap vegetable oils that cause inflammation. Nutritional highlights include sodium levels around 590 to 670 milligrams per serving, showing genuine restraint compared to competitors pushing close to 1,000. Absolutely zero artificial flavors or synthetic colors that serve no purpose except making cheap ingredients look more appealing. No chemical preservatives like BHA or BHT that extend shelf life while potentially causing health problems, and straightforward ingredients that your grandmother would recognize and actually use in her own kitchen. Newman's Own specifically uses uncured pepperoni made with celery powder as a natural preservative instead of sodium nitrite, which significantly reduces your exposure to compounds that form carcinogenic nitrosamines inside your digestive system when nitrites interact with proteins during digestion and cooking at high temperatures. The thin, crispy crust style provides satisfying crunch and authentic texture without requiring excessive calories, refined flour, or chemical dough conditioners that cheaper brands rely on to create their thick, puffy crusts artificially. Newman's Own pizzas cost slightly more than budget brands LL typically pay around $5 to $7 depending on variety and where you shop, but investing a few extra dollars in clean ingredients protects your long-term health in ways worth far more than the small amount of money you might save by choosing toxic alternatives. Choosing companies with ethical missions and ingredient integrity sends powerful market signals to other manufacturers that consumers actually care about what goes into their food, and will reward brands that do things right while rejecting corporations that prioritize profits over people. Newman's Own offers solid variety, including margarita with fresh basil and tomatoes, traditional pepperoni, supreme loaded with vegetables and meats for cheese lovers, thin and crispy white with ricotta and mozzarella, and several other options, giving families meaningful choices without ever compromising on ingredient quality or nutritional standards. Every single purchase of Newman's Own products contributes to charitable causes, including children's organizations, disaster relief education programs, and community development projects that have received over $600 million in donations since the company's founding, which means eating better pizza actually helps people in need around the world. Newman's Own proves definitively that frozen pizza can be convenient for busy families, affordable for regular households, and genuinely healthy all at the same time. When companies build their business models around doing good, rather than extracting maximum profit from consumers who deserve better. Best number 3. American Flatbread. American Flatbread Frozen Pizza World K.A. Wo brand Hai Jo Ajbi Food Ko Surf Product Nahi Bol K Responsibility Samajda Hai Jab Ziada Tar Company's Inflation or Supply Chain Pressure K Jawab Main Ingredients Cheap Car Rahi Hain American Flatbread Ni Bilkul Ulta Rasta Tuna Quality Par Ziada Focus Inky Pizzas Artisan Tradition Par Bani Hodi Hain Industrial Shortcuts Par Nahi Crust Traditional Flatbread Hoda Hai Jo Stone Hearths Par Bake Kia Joda Hai Na K Conveyor Belts Par Jahan Speed KO Taste Se Upar Raka Joda Hai American Flatbread Jahan Mumkin Ho Certified Organic Ingredients Use Karda Hai or Real Vermont Cheese Local Dairies Say Lita Hai Ya Cheese Surf Taste Ka Difference Nahi Banati Bulke Nutrition Kabi Local Grass-Based Dairies Ziada Nutrient-Dense Dairy Produce Karti Hain Jo Body K Lie Better Hoti Hai Skarizot Yahota Hai K Pizza Ka Harbite Artificial Ya Chemical Nahi Lagta Bulke Genuinely Homemade Feel Dita Hai Na Preservatives Na Fake Flavors Na Lab Engineered Stabilizers Surf Real Food Ya Brand Small-scale farmers Kasath Kamkarta Hydro Sustainable Agriculture Follow Cart Hain Ma'ajka Economic Collapse or Global Instability Kador Main Yachiz Bahat Important Hochuki Hai Kunka Imported Fillers or Mass Processing Par Depend Karn Whale Products Sab Se Pahal Supply Disruptions Kashikar Banti Hain American Flatbread Kie Local Sourcing Model Ise Ziada Resilient Banata High Ya Surf EC Pizza Nahi Bouquet Crisis Mart Food High Nutrition Kahawale Se B Ya Pizza Surf Empty Calories Provide Nahi Karta Real Dairy Real Flour or Balanced Fats Opco Actual Satiety Deet Hain Ya Wo Frozen Pizza Hijo Kane K Bodbook or Inflammation Nahi Barhata Bulke Body KO Fuel Karta High Icy Waja Say Parents is Brand Co Gilt K Bagar Main Rack KR Main Rack Socked Hain Jab Food Quality Quietly Collapse Ho Rahi Ho American Flatbread KO Choose Karna Surf Taste Ka Decision Nahi Ya Preparedness Ka Decision High Best number 4 Capello's Capello's Frozen Pizza Category KO Wo Brand High Joan Logon KO Controlled Dita High Ginhan Ni Refined Carbohydrates Canuxanat Samaj Lihain Gluten Sensitivity Celiac Disease or Metabolic Problems Abrair Nahi Rahi or Firbi Ziada Tar Frozen Pizzas Wheat Flour Par High Depend Karti Hain Jo Blood Sugar KO Spike Karti High or Inflammation KO Fuel Karti High Capello's Knee is System KO Challenge Kia Grain-Free Almond Flour Crust KSF Almond flour naturally protein or healthy fats say rich Hoda High Yeast Kamat Lab High K Ya Pizza KE Ye Patsyada Dare Takbara Hua Field Dita High Crisis or Stress Kador Main Ya Bahat Critical High Kai Kayun K Empty Carbs Surf Thori Dare Kalai Book Coupe Hain or Fear where Zyada cravings create Cart Hain Capello's Energy KO Stable Racta High or Survival KA Lie Stability Sab Say Body Cheese Hodi High Ingredients K Mamle Main B Capello's Industry Shortcuts KO Reject Carta High Inky Pizza's Main Uncured Pepperoni Hodi High Nitrites K Bagare K Organic Vegetables Hatehain or Dairy Grass-Fed Cows Say Li Yadi High Ya Koi Marketing Buzzwords Nahi Bulke Wo Choices Hain Jo Long-Term Inflammation or Health Damage KO Com Cardi Hain ISI Wajase Ya Pizza surf safe, nahi, bolke, actively better, hodi high. Han, Capello's Menga, high axer, $10, say $12 per pizza. Leakin, yeah, cost surf product ka, nahi hota. Health or quality of life, key investment hodi high. Jab Baki brand's quality or portion or Jarach Rahich Hot Hain. Capello's consistency maintain Carta high. Economic instability Ki Dormain, yeah. Reliability luxury nahi, necessity ban yadi high. Best number 5, Calipower, Ni frozen pizza, industry Ka Sabsebera, Mithta dia, Ki pizza, tasty ho shakti high ya healthy, atta, dono x sath nahi. Cauliflower ni proof cardia kai. Vegetable-based crust surf label kai. Lai nahi hota. Yeah, actually calm carda high. It's brand ka cauliflower crust refined flour kai. Replace carda high jo body main ya car minutes kai. Ander sugar main convert ho jada high. Mitcom matlab high. .com blood sugar spikes.com inflammation or Ziada control. Jab. Diabetes or obesity. Common ho. Chuki hain. Yeah, surf better option. Nahi. Bulk risk reduction strategy. Ban yadi high. Taske hawale se kopi convince ko be convince kea. Crust crispota high, structure maintain carta high. Or toppins ko support carta high ya pizza haisa. Behave carta high. Surf healthy experiment nahi lagda. Cauliflower. Key transparency iski. Dusri body strength high. Artificial preservatives or unnecessary additives say Dorena is brand key policy high. Nutritional information clearly label hoti high. Joe parents KO confident decisions, lean main matted dedi high. Jab food industry misleading claims, par chow rahi ho, clarity survival tool ban, yadi high. Cauliflower key success, ni pori, category KO, force kia, KWO, change ho. Dozens of copycat brands, Kaana, is bought ka-proof. Hi-cat, consumers add better food demand, Karehi hain. Sly cauliflower, ka-choose karna, surf personal health decision, nahi, bulke, industry level, signal high, agarop, EKAC, frozen pizza, chaitho, Joe Kidsby, kushi se kion, Joe giltke, bagare serve, kiasake. Or Joe long-term health co, quietly sabotage na, care too. Cauliflower X smart, future-focused choice. High especially US whacked Jabziata, tar brands ni quality. Parhoth, Karai Kar, Daihain,